Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, as always, it's the one, it's the only, it's the motherfucking sports betting Mexican, Miguel Magallon. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, it's the president, it's the founder, it's the motherfucking CEO of Magallon Entertainment. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Sports Betting Mexican podcast. Welcome back to the Sports Betting Mexican. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, back again to pipe the motherfucking sports books down again. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we talking about football. Tonight we talking about the profits in football. Tonight we talking about how we pipe down these bitch-ass motherfucking sports books when it comes to football. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, as always, you already know what I'm about to say next. Ladies and gentlemen, when I'm about to teach you some shit, when I'm about to educate you on some shit, when I'm about to drop some motherfucking tickets in this bitch, ladies and gentlemen, say it one more motherfucking time. It's time to get the pins and the motherfucking pads, because the Sports Betting Mexican is back to pipe that motherfucking ass. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, without further delay, let's get this shit started. Yay, yay! Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we had a phenomenal blowout fucking weekend. Broke the doors down on that sports books this weekend and piped her motherfucking pussy down this weekend. Ladies and gentlemen, we went balls deep this weekend. We went 5-0 this weekend. Every single bet was undefeated. Every single play, every single teaser, every single motherfucking parlay. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to keep smacking them next weekend. And the weekend after that, and the weekend after that, and the weekend after that. Otra vez, way, every single fucking weekend. And so with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's do a quick recap of this past weekend. Starting off with the Pittsburgh Steelers, we took them -1.5. I even said -2.5 was good, but we took a -1.5. Some of you guys took them on the money line. Ladies and gentlemen, I told you guys Aaron Rodgers was going to do good. I told you guys Aaron Rodgers was going to come for that ass. And I told you guys Aaron Rodgers wanted some payback for that ass. Ladies and gentlemen, Aaron Rodgers got the job done, but ladies and gentlemen, I ain't going to lie. I ain't going to cap. Justin Fields looked good to me. Justin Fields, look, he actually found a team that wants them to be his QB. Not just a motherfucking temporary QB, but a long-term QB. Ladies and gentlemen, Justin Fields was running up and down that fucking Steelers defense with the football. Justin Fields, he looking high to me. I feel like he finally found his team. Couldn't find it in Chicago, couldn't find it in fucking Pittsburgh, but guess what? He found it out there in the Big Apple, New York, that is. I think he's going to be there for a while. I think he's going to get some long-term, job security. He's probably not going to ask for a lot, because I don't think he really deserves a lot. But I like how he ran that offense for the Jets. I like how he was running up and down on the Steelers. I think he's a great quarterback. He's a great fit for that offense. And don't be surprised if in the coming week I start putting money on Justin Fields to fucking cash us a ticket or two, maybe. Ladies and gentlemen, I like what I saw from the fucking Jets versus the Steelers, but either way, we cashed out that motherfucking ticket on those motherfucking Pittsburgh Steelers. Next up, I got the Raiders on the money line, +110. Y'all saw that shit? Didn't I say Tom Brady was going to come for some payback? Didn't I say Tom Brady wanted to run that shit back? Didn't I motherfucking say that the Raiders were going to run the motherfucking football with fucking Jonty, whatever the fuck his name is these days? Ladies and gentlemen, took the Raiders on the money line, +110, +115. Ladies and gentlemen, I told you guys the Patriots are not a good team. They're an average team, below average team. I still have question marks about a lot of roster spots on their team. And I'm still not sure Drake May is honestly the future QB of that team. I'm still not sold on him. So with that being said, we took the Raiders on the money line, +110, +115. And ladies and gentlemen, that's another fucking victory. That's another easy win for me. Next up, third, I took the motherfucking Cheeseheads this weekend. I chose the motherfucking Green Bay Packers. Ladies and gentlemen, give me some Cheeseheads, -1.5. Took that shit. Also, some of you guys took them on the money line también. Ladies and gentlemen, we cashed that motherfucking ticket. I told you guys the Lions, a lot of players, a lot of coaches, a lot of personnel left in the offseason. I've never really been sold on Jared Goff. I never really liked Jared Goff. I always kind of said fuck Jared Goff. Him and Sam Darnold are two of the most overrated quarterbacks in the league to me. Add Tua to that mix. I can't believe Tua is still a starting quarterback in this league. That motherfucker, he needs to get kicked out the fucking league. You gotta fucking be kidding me. Tua, Russell Wilson, there's a shit ton of quarterbacks that don't belong in this league if you ask me. But one of them is Jared Goff. I'm not a fan of his. I've never been sold on him. I know a lot of people try to hype him and praise him, but I feel like Jared Goff has always ended up in these situations where he's always had a good offensive line, always had a good defense, always had great players all around him, and he could just never get the job done. I feel like there's a lot of quarterbacks that never have a good defense, never have a good offense, never have a great offensive line, and they're still trying to get shit done. Meanwhile, you got Jared Goff out here with one of the best offensive lines, one of the best defense, and he got plenty of weapons all over the place, and he still can't get the job done. Man, fuck Jared Goff. I told you guys, give me the motherfucking Green Bay Packers. Give me those bitch-ass cheeseheads, especially with Micah Parsons these days. Man, they're getting turned up as fuck these days. Give me the motherfucking cheeseheads -1.5. We cashed out that motherfucking ticket. Next up, and not least, ladies and gentlemen, the motherfucking San Francisco 49ers cashed a fat-ass ticket on that one this weekend, -1.5. I was a little bit worried. I ain't gonna lie. I was worried about McCaffrey with this calf injury. I was worried about, a lot of the players they lost on defense, like fucking Greenlaw and them that went to the fucking Broncos this offseason. More on the Broncos in just a minute. But I was worried about that because they did lose a lot of key pieces on the defense. And like I said, a lot of them went out there to fucking Denver, Colorado and shit to be a Bronco and shit this offseason. But at the end of the day, I said, you know what? They got Saleh back. I think Saleh's a great defensive coordinator. He might not be a great head coach, right? But I think he's a solid defensive coordinator. He knows what the fuck he's doing, and he understands the heart and pulse of that locker room. And I felt like Saleh was going to be able to do a lot. Even with limited resources and even with a lot of guys leaving to different teams in the offseason. Purdy, still not really sold on Purdy a lot, but I do love Kittle. I do love the weapons. I do love McCaffrey. I do love big-ass Trent Williams. I still believe he's one of the best, left tackles in the entire, all of football right now. So I ended up rolling with the San Francisco 49ers because just like I said earlier today, how I don't fuck with Jared Goff, I also don't fuck with Sam Bradford. Fuck Sam Bradford. That puto, I'm telling you. Another situation when he was in Minnesota, had one of the best receivers in the game, if not the best wide receiver in the game in fucking in Jefferson. And guess what? He had a lot of playmakers. He had a lot of great offensive linemen. He had a great fucking defense, and he still couldn't get the job done. Fuck Sam Bradford. Give me the San Francisco 49ers -1.5 or on the motherfucking money line. Cashed out that ticket. And then last but not least, the fifth and final one, 7-point teaser. Ladies and gentlemen, I took the Denver Broncos -1.5, and then I took that with the Cincinnati Bengals, and I think I got the Bengals either at a pick'em or +1.5, depending what sports book you went at. But ladies and gentlemen, the Broncos, the Bengals, cashed that fucking ticket. I told you the the Cincinnati Bengals can't have a slow start to their season. I thought they were going to go all out and blow the fucking doors off the fucking Cleveland Browns this fucking weekend. They didn't. They barely pulled off the fucking victory, if you ask me. Might start fading them later on in the season. And then the Denver Broncos also kind of low-key looked like ass to me. That offense was not what I expected it to be. The defense was all right. The defense was good. The defense was doing what they were supposed to do. But that Denver Broncos offense, I don't know. Still not sure if Bo Nix is the right QB. I feel like he be making a lot of stupid decisions too. But either way, they got the job done and they cashed us some motherfucking money. So ladies and gentlemen, those were the plays. Those were the motherfucking tickets. They did fuck us on that Kansas City Chiefs game before the weekend on fucking Friday night. Fucking ruined my Friday night. But it's alright. We got paid back over the weekend. We went 5-0. Cashed out every motherfucking ticket, every motherfucking teaser, every fucking money line, and every single motherfucking parlay. And so with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, 5-0 weekend. I think we're 6-1 to start the season. That's not bad if you ask me. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to keep cashing tickets. We're going to keep chasing profits. And we're going to keep flipping our monies. Because ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the day, inflation ain't going away with or without interest rate cuts. So we got to be prepared to survive in this bitch-ass economy. For more information, more picks, and more fucking plays, ladies and gentlemen, all you got to do is follow me. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, yay, yay!